Morning. My name is Pranay Kapadia, and I'm joined by my colleague Alec Roth. And on behalf of the entire Blend team, we're excited to share with you or give you a brief glimpse into how we are propelling the $10 trillion mortgage industry into the future. Now, Blend stands for Better Lending. And if you think about the problems in the mortgage industry today, if you've watched The Big Short, you've bought a home recently, or know someone that went through the mortgage process, the problems are so apparent. The industry went through a great recession. There was all of this regulation that came about, and they were unable to keep up with the changing regulations, leading to millions in fines. Second, in order to try to keep up with them, mortgage companies, lenders have actually augmented their entire manufacturing plant with massive teams of people that leads to a 300% increase in origination costs. And lastly, and most importantly, it's on us. It's our problem because us as consumers, we have a really hard time buying a home, going through the mortgage process. It's one of the most stressful financial transactions that you could go through in your life. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about how we solve that. We'll start with the borrower experience. And the borrower experience, just a quick call out, Emblem Mortgage is a fictitious company that we use for demos. Our solution can be white labeled and branded per our customers' needs. But it's built in this day and age to be responsive. You can actually work with it on a desktop, in a tablet view, and most importantly on mobile. Everything we build is mobile first, and it just looks amazing on mobile. We have 30% of our usage coming on mobile. And when we first started, the industry said, oh, nobody's ever going to do this on mobile. And we've seen this story play out before with taxes, and this is something that we're very confident in the future of the mortgage technology world. The other thing that's important to call out is the entire experience is humanistic. Now you hear about bots and all of these things, but we really look at it as how do we make this financial stressful transaction as humanistic as possible, as though you're working with a financial advisor. And Blend will actually walk you through the purchase experience, asking you questions, giving you relevant contextual help, and learning about your unique needs all the way through the application. Now, we don't want to just give you forms and documents that you need to fill out, and so we're asking you very succinct, clear questions that you can answer at home, sitting side by side with your wife, or even on the go at Starbucks. We've actually had a couple of those happen. Now, moving the industry from forms to data is something that we want to do, and we do really well. A lot of our team has actually come from Intuit and Palantir, and so you see a blend of that in the software that we build. You can connect, just like Mint.com, to your financial statements, pull in data from those accounts automatically. It's safe, it's secure, and all of that data is machine readable, what we call high fidelity data that can be used for underwriting purposes downstream. Now there's something else that we're actually doing that's unique. As this data is actually coming in, we have proprietary algorithms that our team of data scientists have actually worked on to really study the data to figure out what we need to flag for underwriting downstream. We'll give you a quick preview of that in a second. Now you might look at this and say, wow, this seems like a millennial-focused application. That's cool, but will it work for the entire industry? And we spent so much time on usability studies, working with loan officers, working with lenders. Last month, we had a 77-year-old go through this application on their phone. And one of their big obstacles that we learned about was actually needing a little bit of cajoling through the experience, wanting to know that it's secure and safe to put in your social security number for a massive transaction of this sort. And so we have a co-pilot capability where a loan officer, a lender, your mortgage expert and consultant can actually enter data on your behalf. And so what happened in this situation was the loan officer called the borrower and said, hey, I can actually walk you through this. The borrower gave his social security number, loan officer entered it, and they both proceeded through the transaction just beautifully. Now, that's an example of the co-pilot, but all of this data with connectivity, whether it's with pay stubs, it's with financial data, it's with credit companies, it's with the IRS as it relates to your tax returns, all of that flows in beautifully to the lender where they have this rich environment to work in on a loan. If you actually are familiar with the industry, it's stuck in an era of green screens, and I don't know if you guys have worked in those. You can't find a programmer that knows how to do anything with that anymore. And so that's really how we are actually reinventing the mortgage technology industry as it relates to this. Now, all of that data needs to be compliant. We talked about the fines and the regulations up front, and what the industry really needs is an audit trail, and it's a compliant audit trail that keeps track of everything related to a loan. Some of our customers have called this the Facebook feed of the loan, where it actually tracks when a borrower logs in, every activity that they've done, consent for CFPB reasons or FTC reasons, as well as any collaboration on the file where you can actually invite a colleague of yours to come in. Those notes are all in one cohesive place. You have a 360-degree view of your loan. Now, related to compliance, one other thing that's actually important are the documents that either we generate or we need to send back to the borrower. And this could be your disclosure documents, and we're actually trying to figure out a way to innovate on the documents themselves because they're really hard to read. But it really is what you owe, who you are, and all the details of the loan. And we're integrated with DocuSign, where you can actually walk through on a mobile device, on your laptop, on a tablet, and actually complete the entire mortgage application and everything else that goes with it in a matter of days. So with that, it's just a brief glimpse into how we think about ushering the mortgage industry into the future. We believe that this should be done in a digitized, with digital airtight compliance, such that everyone can benefit, whether it be the lenders themselves, the people that are actually checking this mundane data in many different ways, or, most importantly, us as borrowers. We believe it's time for financial innovation in an industry that has traditionally been ignored. We believe it's an era of better lending.